Yo, rock stars. I'm mixing it up, Dave.
It's good. I like it.
So we're chilling at NAMM 2020 at the PreSonus booth, y'all.
PreSonus.
You know this guy right here?
Hey, y'all. I'm Joe Gilder with
should
PreSonus
know
now.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's my main man. And you do many things, Joe.
I do. I do.
You still do many things, right?
I still do, yeah. Latest thing is I got a gig with PreSonus. I'm the Studio One guy. Specialist. Look at it. Specialist. I'm feeling special.
Specialist.
Right? Right?
Specialista.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Specialisto. I don't know. Well,
Yes,
so
male.
what should we look at today, dude?
Got two things.
All right.
Pretty cool. Both are kind of new at NAMM. This one's pretty legit. This is called the ioStation. So, if you're familiar with PreSonus stuff, the Faderport has been around forever.
It's awesome.
Yes. I've used the old one for forever. They updated it in 2018. But one of the most feature requested things was to, hey, make a Faderport that's also an audio interface. So they did. So everything to the left of my hand is just a Faderport like you're used to. But then over here we've got controls. Let me show you the back real quick. It's essentially like a Faderport and audio box had a baby. Okay? This is
good looking, baby.
Yeah, a good looking baby. It's got what you'd expect from a simple audio interface, 2 in, 2 out. The inputs actually can be mic, instrument, or line, which is kind of cool. So you could still use external pre's with it if you wanted to. And one of my favorite features is they got a mute button on the speakers. So it's not a full monitor controller, but you can mute the speakers while you're tracking through your headphones and not have to keep turning this thing up and down, because we've all done the feedback squeal.
Totally, and I think Monitor Station, when I had that going, that's got a mute button on it too, right?
Yeah. So for the person who wants a small interface and a controller and a monitor station, but only has $300, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They sent me a prototype, so I've had one in the studio for about 2 weeks and been messing around with it. It's pretty sweet. If you've never used a Faderport, it's got normal, like 100 millimeter fader like you're used to. The fader follows you around the session, so it will jump whatever track you click on. It will jump to that. So a lot of times I'm working right hand on the mouse, left hand on this. Transport controls, which are fun for like overdubbing vocals. You can do it from a button instead of like a mouse and a keyboard, so you don't feel quite as dorky. But the coolest thing, it'll do a bunch, but this link mode, I just discovered this like a week ago and it's rocking my world. When you're in link mode, whatever you hover over in Studio One with the mouse, like a compressor knob, as long as you're hovering over it, this knob will control it.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? So you don't have to map it, like tell this to do it. It just knows whether it's a fader, panning, any knob and any plug-in. If it's hovered over there, you turn the knob and it controls it. So it's, for the guys who like to like move a fader and twist knobs, it's a great like simple option, as opposed to something with 15 knobs that you have to kind of map out and make it do what you want to do.
Yeah, you don't accidentally think you're about to turn this knob and you're still turning the old knob, because now you're over here.
Right, because you're never going to get rid of the mouse completely. So we're always, if you have a control surface, they're great, but you're always playing that dance of which things do I do here and there. With this, it's kind of like, I got one hand on the mouse and one hand on this, and I'm happy.
So how are we plugging this into our computer? It was USB, right?
USB-C, yeah.
USB-C,
it's not Thunderbolt, it's just a regular USB 2 interface, but it does have that C connector on the back.
That's cool. And then this would be a groovy choice for podcasting, for example, or making music in your studio, right?
Very much so. This, because it's got the 2 inputs, and it's, I mean, this is it. This is the whole thing.
But it's not bus powered, is it?
It can be bus power for the audio. You lose the fader.
Oh, so this could be a bus powered podcasting rig with a laptop or something like that, where you don't need a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah. You lose the motorized fader, but otherwise, yeah.
All right, dig it in. Since I brought up podcasting for a moment, why don't we just give a brief introduction what this is, because this might also be a great choice for something like that, right?
Yeah, Lance Armstrong uses it for his podcast. I think the Dallas Cowboys use it for theirs, right?
Right on.
But it's, so they've had these AR mixers for a while. This is the new line. They've upgraded the preamps. They're now X-Max pre's, so they'll work with your like SM7s and RE20s that have a low output. Got enough gain to handle those without having to get a cloud lifter or something else. And it does, I mean, if you just want it to act like an analog mixer, it absolutely does. If you just want to record your mixes down to SD card, it absolutely does.
You could record your podcast straight to the SD if you want?
Yep. As like a stereo mix down. And if you want to multi-track the whole thing, you absolutely can do that as well. Again, USB-C connector. We've got actually a video running here. You probably find it on the PreSonus page. It's a garage band. They tracked one through a bigger version of this, and the whole song was just tracked through this and mixed in like Studio One artists, and it sounds really great. So it's
that's sweet.
It's a solid mixture. They kind of revamped it from top to bottom for NAMM, so
And I noticed you got a bunch of different inputs, so you can do, XLRs, you can do line-ins, quarter-inch ins, you can do like a little mini 1/8" jack in if you need to get in that way, RCA, just like, it's a Swiss Army knife, which is cool.
Yeah, it's got a lot of options on it. You even have instrument inputs on the first couple of channels as well.
Now, what's the pair option for Bluetooth there?
So yeah, it does Bluetooth as well. So if you're wanting to pair this with your Bluetooth for playback at a gig or whatever, you want to play back music files straight through the board without having to plug into the 1/8". You got lots of options for playback.
So you can Bluetooth into it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. They packed a lot into this little tiny thing.
Well, that's cool. Awesome. What do the rock stars need to know about price points or anything? Anything we can talk about or not?
Yeah. That thing that disappeared is $299.
Oh, sweet.
This one, I don't remember.
All right,
so
cool.
Go check it out on some website.
All right, dig it. And which website should they check it out on?
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater. All right, awesome. Thanks for watching, Rockstars. Joe, we love you, dude.
You too, man. Best.
See ya.